we had all kinds of contingencies in our back pockets when we were doing the stuff they were doing. What kind of contingencies in your back pocket if you're 2,000 feet underwater in a hard suit and something goes wrong?
So the backup plan is to launch the other hard suit. And, when I took over, we hadn't even been through op eval. We hadn't been through any of that stuff, right? So I'm taking this over. We're doing the operational evaluation. We're looking at it for readiness. So I was the first person to launch 2 suits in the water and to practice and establish and make the OPs, EPs, and CPs, the operational procedures, casualty procedures, and emergency procedures. So I was the guy writing all those because I was like, okay, what would I want if I was the guy in the suit? I would want somebody to come down here and rescue me. So how are we going to do that? What are the things we have to put in place? So, you're working with the engineers at NAVC and everybody else. I don't want to think that it was just me, but I got to bottom line a lot of that stuff. So my hand's all over that.
So I'm going to ask a question that may sound like a dumb question, but I know my audience is probably asking the same things. Like, why do you need a suit where a person can go down to 2,000 feet? Why not just use a deep submergence vehicle with little arms on it and things like that? What kinds of things would you do?
Why do we rule the world? Everybody says it's the opposable thumb. Well, it's not. The opposable thumb, as you know, being an astronaut, you get this, right? The opposable thumb is not it, because otherwise lobsters would rule the earth, right? Because they have huge opposable thumb, right? What it is our ability to prehense. Now, I don't know if I can do this, but prehensing is going from one to the other, right? So that's our ability, right? Our ability to go from finger to finger to finger, right? So you need that ability and that dexterity when you're at depth. You need that, in Joe's opinion, you need the person in the suit to go, I have my crooked eye on that, because you're staring myopic vision, singular eye with a camera that's here looking at something, and you're trying to do this little turning. It's just inefficient and ineffective. So the person in the suit is my opinion. You need that person eyes on target, right? It's like, why don't we fly aircraft by, just drone?
So I have to ask this question, because the gloves in our our spacewalking suits are bulky because it's a pressurized suit, right? And they're bulky and they can be very tricky to work with. How do you manage the gloves and the human interface like that at 2,000 feet where the pressure, and you're in a hard suit?
Right. So you're in a hard suit. So you have these manipulators, you're working and manipulating. You learn to become an expert at manipulating your hands through this pressure seat. It's hard. It's hard at best. On a good day, it's hard. It's almost impossible. When you start flying the suit, let me give you for instance, the way that we train pilots in the suit, just like in the old days, you saw Men of Honor, how they ripped open the bag and they threw the nuts and bolts on the floor. We took a knot, a rope with knot on it, and then we put washer, washer, nut, washer, nut, washer, nut. We undid it, dumped all the washers and nuts in the pool, and then threw the rope in the pool. You had to go fly over in the suit, go grab the rope, tie a knot in the bottom, then get a washer, put it on, then get a nut, put it on, then get a washer and put it on, then get a nut and put it on, and then tie a knot in the end. And you did not come up until you were done. Maximum time in the suit is 8 hours. So you get good at becoming dexterous with this little set of equipment.
Yeah.
So, and you have to.
Yeah. Interesting.
A little different from one of those like circus things where you manipulate the little hook that goes down and grabs the little teddy bear.
Yeah.
Not quite the same thing.
No, sir.